guys, welcome back to my channel. I am back with another review. This review is for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta season 11 episode 8. So if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Let's just dive right into what happened in this episode because so much took place. Mendices ends up meeting up with Safaree at the very beginning of this episode, and he's still going on and on about how he wants to get his family that he has with Yandy together with his son's mother, Samantha, and her new fiance. They just moved from New York to Atlanta, and he really wants everybody to come together. And listen, his son, Little Mendices, said that he was uninterested in having this take place. He feels like it's too soon, and he really just likes things the way that they are. And Yandy agreed with Little Mendices, but for some reason, Mendices is not taking what Yandy and his son said seriously. He still wants to get together for a family dinner, and I just feel like things are not going to go well when they all get together because there was so much drama in the past with all of them, and I feel like it's just going to come back up when they're all together at the dinner table. Safaree ends up dropping a bomb during this conversation with Mendices when he stated that he feels like his son with Erica named Legend is not his child. He said that the baby doesn't look anything like him. He said that when he stares at his daughter, he sees himself, but when he stares at his son, he just doesn't see it. And I think that this is really disgusting for him to say this on national television because this is going to live forever. Like, I don't even believe him. I don't think that he believes that his son with Erica is not his. I think he's just saying this to get a storyline this season, and I also feel like he's doing this to spite Erica because I think he knows that that's his son, and if he truly did have any doubts, he could have gotten a DNA test off of social media or off of national television and did that and found out, and then if he wanted to broadcast that that wasn't his son, he could have done that. But for him to do this on this TV show and then it comes out that that's his son's going to end up seeing this in the future. And so I just feel like Safaree doesn't think before he does things. He then ends up getting pissed off during this conversation because Mendices lets Safaree know that Rich and Erica have been getting cozy with each other. They've been very flirtatious and they've been talking again, and all of a sudden he wants to act like he has an issue with it when I just don't believe him. I feel like he just wants to have some form of control over Erica's life still. And so that's the reason why he's pretending to be so upset that Rich is cozying up to Erica, because it just doesn't make sense to me. He's running around here messing with whoever he wants to during his marriage, and now he has an issue with Erica talking to somebody from her past while the two of them are going through a divorce. To me, it's just really hypocritical. Sierra ends up having a conversation with her best friend Jody about the doubts she's having about being engaged to her boyfriend Eric. Now listen, I don't think that Sierra and Eric should even be together, but I do think that it's okay for Sierra to seek advice from her friends and family, although her friend didn't really have good advice because she was saying that she felt Eric was a good guy for Sierra, but if Sierra is not feeling it and she's clearly unhappy, then her friend doesn't have a right to say that he's the right person for her because only you know who's right for you. And so I feel like if Sierra knows she's unhappy because it's clear that she's not happy in this relationship and neither is Eric, that I think that the two of them need to split up or at least take a break because they are not even together for a year yet, I believe. If they're already engaged, they're already having all this drama, and then they sat there and bought a house together, and now they're selling the house because they can't agree on whether or not they should keep it or not. And so I just feel like they're having way too many issues to be thinking about even getting married. She also stated that it was always her dream to be married. And listen, I think it's okay to want to be married, but sometimes I feel like us women put too much stock into marriage. We dream about it to the point where we'll stay in really toxic relationships because we just want to be married so bad that the first person who asks us, we're going to say yes. And I just don't think that's okay. And part of that is because we shame each other when we're not married. When we're single, we get shamed by other women for that. And I think that it's okay to be single if you're not ready to be in a relationship or you don't want to be in a relationship at the moment. I think it's okay if you're in a relationship and you both want marriage, but you both feel like you should take your time and wait until you can see if you guys are able to be together at different stages in your life. I think that that's okay as well. I feel like we judge each other too much on whether or not we're single or married, and so I feel like that's something that as women really need to stop doing to each other. Rashida's mom is so adamant about Rashida and her father getting together and mending their broken relationship. And I don't think that Rashida's mom is right in this particular situation. I can understand where she's coming from about wanting her daughter to have a relationship with her father. But at the same time, Rashida is a grown woman and she stated numerous times that she was uninterested in getting together with her father, especially the last conversation that they had with each other where they were screaming at one another over the phone. And this situation wasn't any better because when they got together, they weren't even a minute into the conversation when the two of them started arguing back and forth with each other. And listen, her father is a douchebag, okay, from what I'm able to see, because he took zero accountability in this conversation. He stated that he didn't think that he did absolutely anything wrong. And to me, that was disgusting. And I can see why Rashida really doesn't want anything to do with him, because I wouldn't want to have anything to do with somebody so stubborn either. One thing that her father was right about in this conversation is that Kirk has done Rashida dirty in their entire relationship. And I know that Rashida said that her father doesn't have room to talk because he wasn't any better. But at the same time, if he's right, he's right. Kirk is no good for Rashida. And I don't like that she keeps using the fact that they've been together for such a long time as a means of a badge of honor, because I just don't think that it's a badge of honor to take all this shit from a man for so long just because you're married to him and then go on and say, yeah, we've been together for like 30 years. It's like, it doesn't matter. He treated you like shit for 30 years. So I just don't feel like that's a badge of honor, and I don't feel like it's something to brag about. But I do think that her father, because he wasn't really active in her life, doesn't have the right to make comments on her relationship to Kirk, because he really hasn't been any better to her. Although he did state that he does not like Kirk, he did agree at the end of this conversation that he would meet up with him. And honestly, I don't think that that conversation is going to go well. The guys all get together for poker night and they start questioning Jock immediately about Mita because they saw the situation that went down at Spice's fashion show. And listen, Jock said that he is not about to give Mita any attention because that's exactly what she wants. He feels like she's making up lies to affect his marriage to Kendra, and so he really doesn't want to talk about Mita at all. And listen, I think that Mita is telling the truth about dealing with Jock at the same time that he was in a relationship with Kendra. I just do not believe her timeline because I feel like she keeps changing it depending on who she's speaking to. They end up bringing up the situation with Safaree questioning the paternity of his son with Erica. And when that conversation comes up, they start talking about how Rich has been flirting with Erica and how the two of them have been talking again. And Safaree tries to act like he feels so betrayed by Rich because Rich was his friend and he just doesn't understand why Rich would be talking to the woman that he has children with and who he was married to. But I feel like he was being a hypocrite, and that's what Rich pointed out as well, because Rich had dated Erica first and was friends with Safaree at the time. And Safaree didn't have an issue with getting into bed with Erica and marrying her and having two children with her, even though Rich was supposed to be his friend. And so he feels like he didn't do anything wrong. Now, during this conversation, Safaree ends up having a temper tantrum because Scrappy starts saying that, when you get a divorce from the woman that you have children with, another man eventually is going to be in your house raising your children. And that seemed to piss Safaree off to where he jumped up out of his seat. He threw something across the room. He picks up the chair that he was sitting in and he throws it up in the air. And listen, karma is a bitch because that chair hit him right back in the head. And I could not stop laughing when I saw this because it's just like he really is corny, because he's trying to act like he's so angry and people should fear him, but he got hit in the head with the chair that he threw up in the air. It was just the most awkward thing I have ever seen. Right after poker night, Rich decides to meet up with Erica to let her know what happened, and he tells her that Safaree threw a temper tantrum because he found out that the two of them were talking, and she seemed to think that Safaree was full of shit, and I think that he is too. I don't believe that he really cares. I think he just wants to make himself relevant by pretending like he cares who Erica messes with. And listen, if he does care who Erica sleeps with, I think he's a hypocrite because he's been sleeping around on her since they were in a relationship together. I don't think that it started after she had their first child. I think he's been sleeping with other women the entire time that he was with Erica. Now, Rich tried to act like he was drunk when he was flirting with Erica on the reunion show, but Erica made it clear that she knew for a fact Rich was not drunk, that he was interested in flirting with her, and that's the reason why he did it. And he admitted that as well. And so I just don't feel like, Rich and Safaree are good for Erica. I think that she shouldn't be dealing with either one of them at this point. But then Rich ends up throwing these darts at Erica because he lets her know that Safaree is questioning the paternity of one of their children. Now, he doesn't know which one because Safaree did not say that at this little poker night game, but he did let her know that he's looking forward to getting a DNA test on one of the children, and she feels like he's full of shit because she feels like he knows for a fact that both children are his. He's just trying to do it out of spite. And so she said that she basically hopes that he does end up getting a DNA test on the children so it can prove how much of a douchebag he is, because he's trying to purposely hurt her and their children at this point, is what she's thinking. Sierra does this little girls' night for Rennie because she wants to cheer her up since the passing of her mother, which I think was a really good idea. I feel like she needs to be surrounded by women and them have conversations and them all laugh and get along with each other in order to lift her spirits up. Now, during this little sit down, they end up having a conversation with Erica about the situation of Safaree wanting a DNA test on the kids, and she gets kind of emotional, but then she kind of wipes her tears away because I feel like she doesn't want to give Safaree that type of power over her. She says that she knows that both children are Safaree's, and if he wants to get a DNA test, he can go on ahead and get it. And I think that she's right. I think she should let him go get the DNA test so that he can look stupid when it proves that both children are his. Now, also during this little, girls' night that took place, Kendra ends up telling the ladies that her and Jock were on a break when he got another woman pregnant. And so Erica ends up confronting her about the way that she reacted when they brought this to her attention, because she was acting like she was really surprised and started crying. But Kendra clarified that the reason why she started crying and the reason why she was acting surprised was not about the baby situation, but it was about the situation with Mita, because she states that she did not know that Jock and Mita were messing around at the same time that she was in a relationship with him, and that she's still interested in figuring out what took place. They all start saying that they don't believe Mita's story about dealing with Jock at the same time as Kendra, because when they had called her, she said that they weren't messing with each other at the same time. But then when she was at that little group dinner, she stated that she was messing with him since like 2019, 2020. And then when she was at the fashion show, she completely acted a fool over there and was basically saying that it doesn't matter what she did with Jock because it's none of anybody's business. And she also stated that he did perform oral sex on her back in 2019, and that's just something that she didn't want to tell to the ladies at that time because she just was kind of trying to protect Jock. Now, listen, Spice jumped in to defend Mita because she stated that she feels like Mita doesn't want Jock and she doesn't understand why everybody keeps bringing this situation up. But the thing is that I think that Mita does want Jock because she's always bringing up the fact that she was dealing with him at the same time as Kendra, and I just don't understand why she would wait until the two of them were getting married to say something. And then on top of that, she says in every one of her interviews that she knows that she's always on Jock's mind and that she's always in his heart, and I just don't understand why a woman who doesn't want this man would say something like that. Now, Kendra and Spice end up having a conversation away from everybody else, where Spice does let Kendra know that, Mita is her friend and that if she really wants to get to the bottom of what took place, that she can set up a meeting between the two of them, and Kendra agreed. At the very end of this episode, Sierra and her fiance Eric end up meeting up with Sierra's pastor to try to figure out where their relationship is going, and the conversation does not go well. And at this point, even the pastor thinks that the two of them are not right for each other. She suggested that the two of them live separately and that they should just date each other, and Sierra agrees, but Eric seems to not be happy about this because he feels like he's put a lot into this relationship with Sierra, and basically he feels like she's a brat and she always wants everything her way. I don't think that they should even live separate and date each other. I think that they should be done with each other completely. He ends up storming out of this little meeting that they had and said that he didn't even want to do any type of counseling with her. And so I just feel like she needs to heal from the traumas of her past, which she stated that she needs to do. And so I just feel like she needs to stop jumping from relationship and just stay to herself for a little while and get herself together. And I feel like the right person will come along for her. So those are my thoughts on this week's episode of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos and hit the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everyone who has supported my channel. I appreciate you all. And until next time, I will talk to you guys in my next video.